Hi, everybody. Good morning. It is a good morning. Welcome to Conversations with Calvin, We the Species. And it would probably take me about a half hour just to begin to introduce Bridget Artise. We don't have a half hour. There's so much to you. You're the author of Born Again Vintage and one of the founders, co-founders of Sustainable Fashion Week, which is going on right now as we speak. So there's so much to talk about, and we have limited time. So let's start with a bit of your history, your background, and how did you actually arrive here, Bridget?
Well, first, thank you, Calvin, for having me on the show. I appreciate it. How my background? Okay, so I actually went to FIT and graduated FIT, but I went for buying and merchandising. So that was, and I was assistant buyer for Steinmart actually at 20. And so I really, really, really loved the buying market. I was in it for several years. I was allocated for strawberries. I was also a buyer for Bloomingdale's and strawberries, Bloomingdale's, and Macy's. So, I was in the other side of retail for quite a bit of time. Then I took some time off to be an at-home mom. I did that for another several years. I know it's like I feel like I'm about 70. But after that, taking that time off, raising my kids, I started a nonprofit actually called Just for Them. And so in that, I did talent shows so that kids in my area could get scholarship money. And so that quickly turned into a fashion show. I found out that I had this talent of chopping up clothes. I didn't know if that was something that was a viable business or not, but I did it for the talent show and people wanted to buy it. And that's literally all it took. I started making stuff and setting up at designer markets in New York. And I did that for several years until a lady named Rosie stumbled into a collective on Bleecker Street and saw my stuff and proposed she was an editor from Random House, and she loved my stuff and she loved the tagline, and she proposed I do the book. And really the rest is history.
Wow. So what led you to create Sustainable Fashion Week, and maybe talk a little bit about it? Because it's going on right now as we speak.
It's going on right now. It started September 11th and it ends September 16th. And it's 6 days full of education, information, inspiration, fashion, really trying to inform the regular consumer that really doesn't know anything about Sustainable Fashion Week. So we're trying to kind of baby step for the people that, have a misconception or debunk all the myths surrounding sustainable fashion. And the reason how it started was that my store, I said that I would host a fashion show for all the designers. And so once I start doing the research on local sustainable fashion shows, there weren't any. And so I was kind of baffled by that. It was kind of, hard for me to believe that we hadn't presented any platforms yet for sustainable fashion. And so I felt like I had to do it.
Okay. We should tell folks right now that the address, the website, sustainablefashionweek.us.
That's right.
So go there. I just went there before we went on air, and I signed up, and I'll be watching over the next couple of days Sustainable Fashion Week. So just so interesting. What if people watched like me? What can they expect to see?
Well, like I said, it's 6 days, and literally every day is different. So, you watch day one, you definitely can't anticipate what 2 through 6 are going to be like. So it's, the first day was really concentrated on New Jersey legends. I'm a Jersey girl. And, you know, it's just, you know, when you think of Jersey, the first thing people think about is Jersey Shore, and that's definitely not the Jersey I know. So, you know, it was really important for me to kind of put that there's a lot of amazing talent and creativity in New Jersey, and I definitely wanted to highlight that.
So why is it important actually? I mean, we could talk about this for hours too. Why is it important to spread a sustainable awareness? I mean, that's a loaded question.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and it would probably take a half an hour. But, you know, the thing is, when I started this well over 15 years ago, being in a sustainable fashion business, once you know, really learn the statistics about the fashion industry and what's really going on, the dirty truth behind it, you know, it's really hard not to want to, you know, push this platform and this initiative and just spread it. You know, my classes at FIT, my students, when they realize or they upcycle something, at the end of the class, you could kind of see that light bulb go off. You know, that they realize they have a whole wardrobe full of stuff that they could repurpose and recycle and reuse. That, you know, why am I shopping so much? Why am I consuming so much? So it's just like, you know, just giving the information and hoping that it sparks change.
Okay. Let's jump into discussing Born Again Vintage, the book.
Yeah.
You wrote a book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
That's definitely, like I said, the catalyst that kind of, that's where me teaching at FIT came from.
Oh, it's on Amazon. People
Yes.
should know that.
I don't know if there are any actually hard copies, but I know it's definitely you could download the ebook, and there's probably circulating through eBay, I'm sure, some copies. But it was 25 ways to deconstruct, recycle, and revamp your wardrobe. So it was just really an inspirational guide that, like I said, that opened the door to me creating classes for FIT, opened the door for being a lecturer at IFA Paris. So, you know, once that came out, it was, and also a vintage expert by New York Times. All of this was from Born Again Vintage, the book. And, you know, and initially it was kind of scary because it's like I'm telling people how I make my clothes. So it was like, you know, as a newbie, that was, you know, a lot of pressure. But at the same time, that's really what it's all about,
Perfect.
you know.
Next, the House of BAV. Talk about that.
Well, the House of BAV is, you know, BAV stands for Born Again Vintage. And the House of BAV is in East Orange, New Jersey, 359 Main Street. And I house probably 5 or 6 different local designers. We're all sustainable. So everything in the store is either handmade, sustainable, one of a kind, or local.
Wow.
So it's just, like I said, once again, giving a platform for the local creatives to be able to sell, and, you know, just wanting to provide resources for newbies and indie designers that just don't have that, you know, those resources.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Off topic a little bit, because I like to ask these little cerebral things. Concerning the pandemic, excluding family and friends, who would you like, living or dead? Who would you like to be stuck in a house with for one day during the pandemic, excluding family and friends, living or dead?
Okay. Ooh. Wow. Okay. Quick answer probably would be Dave Chappelle.
Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Next, behind me, there's a hat. So, you know, we don't have tons of time. Behind me, there's a hat. And it's a guessing game. If you can guess what's under the hat, which you won't be able to guess, but it's relevant to you. You have one guess. We don't have a ton of time.
And it's relevant to me.
Time is up. So what it is for everybody to see. It's a copy of your.
Oh my God, that's what I was going to say. You didn't give me a chance. I won.
Well, I didn't give you a chance because we are literally out of time. We'll come back, you and I. We will come back.
Of
This
course.
has been great.